Alright, welcome back to the channel. I'm just finished filming the other video, closing it out, but now we're starting on the radiator, new hoses, and a new coolant bleeder valve because these are plastic on the G's and notorious for going bad. So today, pulling the old one out because they're plastic and it's leaking. Once it builds pressure up, it starts squirting between where the plastic and the aluminum meet. And the bleeder valve's fine, but I don't want to risk it going bad in the future, so I'm going to go ahead and do it now. And then new hoses, just because it's always smart to do hoses, and this thing is a little crusty. It's pretty dusty under here, and the hoses probably could do for a change. Yeah, start by jacking the car up. I'll probably pull the bumper off just to make it easier to jack it up, and then get it up on jack stands on the front. That way it's easier to bleed. Then we'll get everything pulled out. Yeah, I mean, you see by the box, it's a Koyo. They're the best. I have one in my 240. I've had them in the past. They're just, it's the best for a radiator, in my opinion. A little pricey, but you get what you pay for. But yeah, pretty good quality stuff. I'm just throwing that out there. She's all jacked up. Got the front end up pretty high. That way the coolant bleeds easier. Now let's just start disassembling. Start by getting the fan shroud off, which is actually got a broken bolt over there. I might try to plastic weld a tab on that or something, maybe. Get the fans out of the way, and then go drain the coolant from there. I need a light. That'll do. The color match light, but it'll be fine. Plenty bright enough. Fan unplugged. Fuck, that scared me. Go on, put it up there. Ooh, that would have hurt. I need to invest in a Milwaukee underhood light. I think that would be ideal. I'm replacing it, so I'm just grabbing it to break it loose with this. You shouldn't do that on a hose that you're not keeping, or that you are keeping. Break it loose. This is a factory hose. I doubt it's ever been replaced. Get the drain pan. Drain pan secured. Let's see how bad it is. Our aim was on point. That's good. So away. Oop. Try not to fucking splash it like that. Pull the lower radiator hose and just drop it out from the bottom. So I just pulled the lower radiator hose off, drained it, made a fucking mess. But it's easy to get the fan out from the bottom. Got AC lines and stuff in the way. It's just a pain. There we go. It takes a little finesse, but that's out. Got a 1/4 inch extension between the fan shroud and the fan and the radiator. That's nice. I actually don't have a, no, I do have a long 1/4 inch. Now I got two. Fan shroud out. Everything's drained. Just got little locks here, so we'll unlock it. These little tabs. Pull these two up out, and then the radiator should lift right out. And I believe it bolts to the condenser here. Two bolts bolted to the condenser, and then this should lift right up out of here. Well, between the AC lines and everything else, it just takes a little finesse. There we go. What a mess. Junk. Theme of this car, junk. All right, old one out. I thought this was funny. Manufactured by Koyo. But they have to make it for the OEM design, and it's cheap plastic clamped to aluminum, and it was leaking around here. I never actually saw it spewing. I just saw it after it would spew. So this is out. It's filthy, so, and absolutely tiny. So the Koyo ought to make the all aluminum Koyo should make a huge difference. I'm gonna put a little kitty litter down and clean this mess up. Before I do that, I'll pull the rest of these radiator hoses off. Get it right there. A little cheat code if you can't get a stuck clamp beyond the little bead that is rolled in it to hold it on. A little dish soap or hand soap, whatever, and just lube it up. Pause. Everything's off. Now it's time to put the new one on. Almost forgot, before I clean my mess up too much with more kitty litter, I need to pull out the coolant bleeder valve. I'll show y'all where that is real quick. So coming down here, it's right here behind this wire harness. It's that right there. A couple clamps, and these are plastic, so they could just break at any time with any decent amount of mileage with heat. And here's a better view of it with the harness out of the way. So you got two clamps holding it in, and this is just where you bleed all the air out of the system. While you're filling it, I'll show you that process. Let's get this out. So with this thing, it's gonna be easier to pull the hose loose from here, where it goes to the heater core, pull it off, and then bend the hose up because the clamps are facing down, and it's pretty much impossible to get to from the top. So we'll just pull it loose from there and then get it exposed. Go. Now it's loose. You can kind of get a better idea how it is. It's just plastic. So this could get hot and break at any point. So we'll just pull the clamps off and replace it with this Gktech billet aluminum. There's a few companies that make these, but I like shopping at Injuku, and they always have Gktech stuff. So yeah, it just takes the place of this and be good to go. So we'll put this in before we unbox that. That way we're here, we can go ahead and reinstall it, and yeah, let's do that. These things facing the bottom, there's no easy way to get to them. The OEMs designed this stuff to last just long enough to stay in a warranty. And once you're out of the warranty, that's when stuff starts to break. Now, I don't care about warranty on this car because it's a drift car. So what I'm building it for, I really could care less about warranty stuff, but just the quality of parts that they use is not good. Plastic, billet aluminum. It's a failure point designed to keep the car going back for service. And that sounds conspiratorial, but it's just the truth. But yeah, there we go. Same thing, but this will not fail. It has an O-ring in here that is universal, which is nice. You don't have to remove this all the way because it has a slot to allow coolant to bleed out. But it has a universal O-ring to seal, so if the O-ring ever fails, you can just replace that. You don't have to worry about buying a new piece, just a rubber O-ring that costs 5 cents with inflation, maybe 10. But yeah, now let's get this put back in. It's simple enough. It's designed to be the same diameter. There we go. Simple as that. I wish I had new hoses for this. I don't have them right now. But it'll be okay. I'm gonna make these clamps face up instead of down because that's just foolish. for them to do that. So, well, these spring clamps really do their job well, I gotta say. That way, if we need to fine tune our adjustment, we can get to it on the top instead of it being on the bottom. And there we go. It's installed. Now we'll just fish it back down through here. It's rubber hose, so it's bendable. Put this back on the heater core line. Mint. And that is a coolant bleeder port. You know, I should have flipped that around so the Gktech logo was facing out, but I said I was going to do it, but then I had it backwards. Oh well. It's not the end of the world. No one's really going to see it anyway. But yeah, put that clamp back, and then this will be good until we're ready to start bleeding. All right, everything's back together on this end. Nice and tight. Good to go. Now let's open the new stuff. Open the hoses. Now these don't come with clamps. Kind of sucks. And you may ask why I didn't go with a Mishimoto radiator. I just prefer the Koyo. I'm sure Mishis work fine, but I've always used these and it's just what I like. But their hoses are nice. I mean, better than a cheap eBay one. If that's all you can afford, that's all good. I don't judge. I prefer to use good stuff though, and these are quite pricey, but Juku had them on sale Black Friday, same with the radiator. There you go. Now, the best part. Beautiful. I've already opened this. It's not an unboxing, but I guess it's turned into an unboxing. Beautiful. Hard to beat a Koyo. So much wider than the stock one. I'll get it and show you the side by side. Double the size. Thickness on, you know, the top where it flows through is about the same. But that's where you see the difference. The core itself is bigger and much nicer. Alright, let's get it put in. So this hose, I don't know if the 350Z or NG are a little different. It fits great here, but then it kind of starts touching, you know, the front timing cover, which is fine. It's really thick, so it should be okay. But what I'm going to do is cut a slit in this and slide it over this just to kind of protect it a little bit. And this hose is a lot wider in diameter, so the factory clamps ain't gonna work. Unfortunately, I gotta use these worm clamps, but it'll be okay. They work. But yeah, I'm just gonna trim this down a little, slide it over there, and I might use a hose clamp just to hold them in place, or maybe a zip tie. All right, so I went ahead and got the radiator put in. Got this sleeving put around here. Just a couple of zip ties just to keep it in place. It's barely touching here, but every little bit helps. Clamps tight. And then let me flip the camera around and I'll show you. Alright, so I got the radiator in. It fits, I mean, perfect. It's designed for it. The only thing that's not really too perfect is I had to notch this just a little bit, just ream it out, just to get it lined up straighter than it was. But it's solid. Lines up mint down at the bottom, everything's perfect. Fan shroud is in. But, however, I don't know if I showed this at the start of the video. This tab is broken. It only has 2 mounting tabs on the top. So luckily, I work at a body shop. We have an abundance of broken fan shrouds and radiators laying around. So I found one with an ear that I cut with a body saw. Let me see if I can show you this. Let's cut it with a body saw, and I will lines up mint. I'm just gonna take my little plastic welder and staple this to it, and we'll have a mounting tab again. I know I could have got like aftermarket fans and stuff, but it's in perfect shape other than a one broken ear. So if I can repair it and save from buying a new fan shroud, every little bit helps. So yeah, I'm gonna get that plastic welded. I'll pull the shroud back out. It's a pretty tight fit. The Koyo sticks out a little bit more, but I was able to ream that with a reamer bit and then push this back a little bit more. That way we have plenty of room. I had to loosen this AC bracket as well, just to get the fan in from the top, because it wasn't going in from the bottom. Not without like bending it too much. But yeah, we'll get this pulled out and I'll show you a closer look at this. Pretty much that's how it looks. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit and then put some staples on it. Maybe throw some panel bond, but I don't think I'll have time to let it dry. I need to get this done. But yeah, it lines up pretty good. I just had to keep trimming until it was perfect. But let's get it welded. That's pretty much what we're using. It's a plastic staple gun. So what you do is find whichever one of these works best. These usually are the ones, you can see that's the ones I've used the most. And it heats up both sides, makes it hot, and then melts into the plastic, and you fuse it together. So I'll do one just to get it set up, and then I'll show you how it works. So I got the other side done, and it's not a perfect fit at the moment. This is just where it needed to sit to line up. But so it's kind of an uneven surface. It's the best one I could find. So I'm gonna melt this and stick it pretty far in because it's thick plastic. So I can go pretty deep, but this is how it works. Heat it up, get it in the middle, and just really press it down in there. And let it cool. Blow on it just a little bit, kind of helps, and then boom. There you have it. That's pretty much the gist of it. Oh, and it's on there. I mean, it could break if you really yank on it, but like between the other mounting points and then the hooks at the bottom, I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. I'll probably do a couple more straight ones here and there, and then I'll trim this edge. That way it looks cleaner. But yeah, that's it. And it's a little wonky, but it'll be okay. Quick repair. All right, there it is. I took a grinder just with a little grinding rock on it, just to grind the studs down. That way there's nothing poking out. If I really wanted to be overkill, I could mask it up and then fill this with panel bond, that void. And this thing, I mean, just to prove to you, I'm picking it up by that only. And it's not bending. It was already cocked to the side, as you can see, but yeah, I mean, it'd be well solid. I did a couple more here too, and then I did one on each side of a straight one and really got it deep in there. That way it's in there good, and it's not like, I'm gonna try to bend it here. It just springs right back. I can straighten it up a little, but it's not gonna break. This thing is pretty solid. Like I said, I could fill this with panel bond and make it even stronger and look better, but like, it's not going anywhere if I don't fucking break it. All right, let's get this put in and make sure the hole lines up still. Not bad for a quick DIY repair. Saved me some money. All right, there we go. Lined up good. It is. It's on there. New Koyo hardware too that it came with. Everything is solid. No more floppy fan. So now, just get everything plugged back up. Put my hoses on, lower and upper reservoir. Start this hose, which is, it's kind of nice that it's a little bit too long. If you look, you got just a little bit too much overhang. So I'm gonna take a little bit off of this, about a 1/2 inch off, and then we'll get it put on. So I got everything back together. I kind of just went ham and buttoned everything back up. Everything's tight, all clamps, and I've started putting coolant in. I got a gallon in, a whole gallon, and you can start to see some coolant coming out of the bleeder. I took the whole thing out, poured it really slow, and just let it start bubbling out of there just a little. So I'm gonna put the bleeder back in and then keep filling it. All right, so this started to fill up, and I'm pushing, and not many bubbles are coming out, just to kind of push any air out. So now we're gonna start the car and let it burp. All right, so it's been idling for about 20 minutes now. No leaks. A little bit of drips from the bleeder port, but maintaining temp. Just gotta bleed the system. It's Nissan loves to make their cooling systems kind of finicky to bleed, but heat wide open. It's blowing nice and hot now, which is good. It was only hot under throttle, but good way to help bleed a system is while it's running. Just get in it and hold the throttle about 3,000 RPM, about 10 seconds. That'll just help push any air bubbles through the system, but it should be fine. Now it's maintaining temp, the fan's kicked on, the heat's nice and hot at idle, and if you have heat at idle, then you can be certain that you don't have any air bubbles in the system. If it's consistently hot, if it's hit or miss, then it's gonna be, you might want to check it, but I'm pretty sure we're all good. Take that extra coolant, put it in the overflow, and put the cap on, and make sure she holds temp under pressure too. Oh, a couple bubbles coming out. It takes a while to bleed one, sometimes 20-30 minutes, sometimes longer, but we'll see. All right, that'll do it for this one. Car's all good. I got it buttoned back up, sitting here idling, holding temp. Heat works good. Everything looks to be okay, so. It looks better with the hoses, and you can't really see the new radiator, but I'm happy with it. The fans kicked on earlier, but it takes forever with that bigger radiator holding more coolant. It's very efficient, but they do work. They are kicking on. The heat's nice and hot, so it's very good. Another reliability thing off the list done. So it should be, knock on wood, should all be good. Those were the biggest issues, the oil leak from the valve cover and the radiator issue. Upgraded both of those. Now I need to save up for coils, wheels, and be ready to slide. Oh, and weld the LSD. I'll probably do that before I do coils and wheels, so that'll probably be the next video, is welding the diff and testing that out, make sure everything works as it should when I do that. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this one. There's really not much more I can cover on this at the moment, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed it, maybe learned something along the way. Pretty simple stuff, but if you're new to these cars or new to any kind of mechanic work, it's, you know, it might help somebody. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I will catch you on the next one in the G35 drift build saga. So have a good one. Be sure to like, comment, whatever you want to do. Subscribe if you want to. if you're interested in see what I do with this. It's not going to look like a turd forever, I promise. It'll look better. I just got to make sure she's mechanically sound first. So, yeah, like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.